But we are into champion select here for game number 2. Nothing looks to change too much on the side of these bans. Does Energy Pacemaker pick up the blue side?
Yeah, not yet, of course, being in game 2. I would be very surprised if World Elite don't ban Poppy. I'll say that much.
Yeah,
I
I'd
think
like
that
it.
Poppy's well and truly worth banning. Of course, last game they banned Gangplank, Lulu, Lissandra. So we'll see what their next 2 bans are. If they want to get rid of the Lulu and Lissandra, or maybe keep the Lulu on the board.
Oh, once again, it's going to be the Misfortune blue side ban. So Energy Pacemaker all actually agreeing with WE here. We'll see where the WE copies. I mean, it'd be the Lulu ban here.
Yeah,
if we were to go on that one. But we'll see whether it is going to come in. WE, a few changes need to be made moving into this game. Time Kench is going to be taken away. Of course, was banned last time as well. So the pool of 6 still available. They're going to ban everything out.
Yeah, so I mean, again, like we said this in game 1, so many options.
Yeah.
In terms of bans and picks that are available. It's almost at the point where there are so many ban choices that you can't actually just ban 3 strong each and get rid of the 6 that are too strong. You need to actually target 3 that you think are strongest to ban against your opponents, and then acknowledge that you're both going to get probably at least 1.
Yeah, and EPA this time, they don't want to play against Lulu or pick it up first time around either, as they're going to ban it on the red side last game and this time on the blue side. And now WE deciding on what they want to take away. Will it be Lissandra? As Gimgoon could just pick that one up for himself, flex it with Republic if he feels like it.
Come on, Poppy, honestly.
Yeah, probably should be. And it is going to be the Poppy lockaway here. WE do not want to have to deal with that one. And Graves left available. Rabbit97 thinking, well, I may as well. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, Rusty.
Well, I mean, that's up for debate if it's broke or not, you know.
Well, it's true. Well, it was definitely doing well last game.
Double entendre of the word broke with
Whoa.
League of Legends is great, isn't it?
Oh, man, I don't even know where I am anymore.
So let's make the assumption that they were to lock this in. And what else is available from the last rotation for World Elite? I would go immediately to the Alistar.
Yeah, the Thresh is there as well if Energy Pacemaker all want to take that one away one more time. But, I mean, the Alistar was first picked, so, look, who even knows? WE are going to have the opportunity to grab the cow one more time if they feel like it, but wasn't exactly fantastic last time around. Lissandra, of course, left up now due to the fact that that Graves has been taken away. Might be the change that WE are looking for.
Should be a good first lock in here. If they could replace the Lissandra, the Alistar with anything. Keep in mind, Mundo, Trundle, both still well and truly available.
Kindred, of course.
Begging to be picked.
Yeah, we spoke about Rabbit and Condi as being sort of Lee Sin Rek'Sai players. Of course, Rabbit himself playing Lee Sin in the last 3 games of his final. But no one picking up anything of the sort, as it has been all about the Graves, the Mundo being picked up there as well. And now the Trundle comes in, Rusty. There you are.
I was so worried I was going to talk about Trundle all night and not see it. I was very concerned after the first draft. But they did lock away the Trundle for their team, so fantastic to see that one.
Thanks for listening, WE.
Yeah, thank you. Jeez, that would have been awkward.
Yeah, well, Romantic has decided to go with a potential Callista here. They're just going to imitate the bottom lane. Disrespect play.
Yeah.
Coming in for an Energy Pacemaker, just want to show them how it's done. Alistar hasn't been locked in just yet, but it'd make a lot of sense. And there it is.
Certainly would make a lot of sense. You would imagine the immediate response if they're looking for a support option. Maybe the Trundle's going elsewhere. They could go for the Thresh in response and kind of do the anything you can do, I can do better comp. But
yeah, exactly.
I would imagine that it's going to be Trundle in that support lane based off this draft. Callista surprisingly good into the Trundle because you can hop the pillar, whereas a lot of other champions have that one movement spell that can get interrupted by the pillar instead.
Yeah, so a little bit more difficult to deal with. But Condi going back to an old favorite here in the Rek'Sai potentially. GA is hovering that one for him. Condi notably managed to pick up a pentakill on the champion very, very early on in his play in the LPL. And Mystic considering the Ezreal here, and if he can play it anything like Deft, you know, his Korean brethren there, things will definitely be looking good. See what he can do, as both of those champions are going to be locked in.
Yeah, and of course, Ezreal at the moment, very popular, going the blue build, having the Manamune, going for the Frozen Fist, and just being a massive pest. Poking people down, and then working with the rest of the team comp that they've already gotten set in stone is great. because you can poke them down and catch them out of position to the point where they are just going to die from an all-in.
Yeah, Republic considering a LeBlanc pick here. I really need Jezzo to just pick the Fiora. And just basically go with exactly the same team comp as WE last game.
I mean, there's still Mundo,
Plus
there's
Graves.
still Quinn.
Yeah,
Have to
true.
keep that in mind. Quinn has actually banned 2 games yesterday and picked in 1. So 3 out of the 4 games, we saw Quinn.
Well, not going to be seen on the side of EP as they do lock away the Na and the LeBlanc. So 3 out of 5 going to be the same picks as WE last game, but that Na going to change things up here for Gimgoon in the top lane, going back to his tanky roots on that champion.
Surprisingly good dive as well from Energy Pacemaker all. Difficult for them to siege because Graves is such a low-range champion. Callista's very dependent on having a front line in front of her if she wants to hit things.
Yep.
LeBlanc's only really good for poking under the turret, so good for sieging, but not for actually directly hitting them down. So very dangerous comp here from Energy Pacemaker all, but if there's one thing that we know they can do, that's dive.
Yep.
Opposed to just poking.
We'll see whether they are going to utilize it here. WE, of course, have a lot of flex picks on their side. Trundle can go both top, support, potentially even jungle, theoretically, and Lissandra can go top and mid lane. But it looks like it's going to be 957 playing that champion, as Zero is going to lock away the Kassadin. Gia going to pick that one up, and Condi going to throw Trundle over to him as the Ezreal Trundle bottom lane.
And this is one of those moments where I kind of wish that Gimgoon had locked in the Mundo. And now I said that Trundle's good into it, but if you look at the sources of damage that come out of World Elite, you've got 2 soul magic damage champions,
Yep.
and one that does a mixture of both.
Yeah, and of
And
course,
then a jungler that doesn't do damage. I mean, why not go Mundo, pick a Spirit Visage first item and be unkillable?
yeah, if there's anything that Ezreal can't do, it's be one of those tank busters like you've spoken about previously. So not going to happen this time around. That being said, you know, the old Na can build a heck of a lot of health at the same time. So both of these drafts, very different, given the fact that we've had exactly the same bans moving forward, apart from that Poppy switching out for the Lissandra, and we'll see whether WE can show us exactly why that Lissandra has been sitting on the bench.
Yeah, Lissandra's just a fantastic champion. Honestly, I don't know if there's anything that beats it at the moment. It's better than Fiora. It's been known as the counter to Fiora. It's just so good at engaging. It's good at poking. You get free spells. Like, Lissandra does it all.
Yeah, she does. And of course, can just save yourself with the ultimate at the same time. Now getting some health back from that one at the same time. But we'll see whether Romantic can pick things up and really show us exactly the power of Callista this time around, or whether he's going to slip back into potentially his old ways. It's very exciting to see what he's going to do. But, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get onto the Rift. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for game number 2 of Energy Pacemaker, all taking on World Elite. WE looking to try and get revenge on this team, as EPA have picked up 3 of the 5 champions that WE picked last time around, and we'll see whether it is going to be some BM or whether it's just going to be a tactic here.
That's so
cheeky.
cheeky.
It's so cheeky.
They know the exact range of the vision for
Oh,
Condi.
wow.
They didn't
yeah.
see a thing.
There's going to be the Thunderlord's proc as well, as Condi goes down to below half health already. Jezzo makes his way in.
Surely not, no. They're just getting vision. They're going to control the area, of course. There is 0 chances that Condi can deal with Rabbit's damage on this Graves, because that level 1 burst is just disgusting.
Yeah, if that's a sign of things to come, it could be dangerous here for WE. But spotted out the lane swap already. 957 had already made it towards that top side. This Condi hasn't been pinged just yet. I'm not sure whether he was seen by that deep ward. So he looks to be starting on his Krugs. 957 will possibly pop over there and help him out as Mystic, and Zero considering taking a Gromp very early on. Of course, does give you less experience now if you don't have the jungle item.
The beautiful thing about the Gromp, though, as a Trundle is you can reduce its damage, and you get a lot of health back from your passive when you take it down. So very little health actually expended for some bonus experience.
Yeah, may as well grab it. You can see he's only missing about 100 now, as well as they did share a bit of that.
And the best thing about this patch at the moment that Deficio actually touched on last night is that the minions don't prioritize a single minion. They don't gang up on them and take them down. So experience is a lot easier to get if you're late to the lane.
Well, you can see now Mystic and Zero being pushed relatively far back. Thunderlords goes off as Mystic gets some decent harassment onto the Alistar. Mantic struggling just a little bit.
Too.
Yeah. There's the pillar. Jezza getting slowed down. Zero just going to eat some creeps, get himself back up to health. And that King's Tribute as well, the passive is just fantastic for a support Trundle because you can go in, you can get the harassment down, and you can just sit back, get all your health back as the minions die.
Yeah.
And repeat.
Well, it kind of puts you into a team composition where if you fight around objectives, you're always going to be a very good frontline tank on the assumption the objective is taken.
Yeah.
Because you get so much health back around the Dragons and the Barons.
We'll see whether that's going to be a thing. Condi going to be taking down the Rift Scuttler. And hasn't met the Graves just yet. That is going to be good news.
So this is the biggest concern for me right now for Energy Pacemaker is Gimgoon on Na. I am just so confused as to why he's picking Na. Because if you have a look at the opposition team comp, it's so difficult to hit your ultimate on any of them at all. Besides maybe the Graves if you, the Kassadin if he overcommits and isn't level 16.
Yeah, but even then, saying that Kassadin's the easiest champion to lock down, you know you got something wrong.
Yeah, like you can get the Lissandra, but if Lissandra has ultimate, you're not going to get the Lissandra. Zero can actually stop your jump when you change between forms by putting a pillar up. There's so many problems with it. Rabbit's in mid and a teleport.
Yeah, Gia actually answering back with a fair bit of damage. Teleport comes in though as 957's going to stop him. Rabbit takes a bunch of hurt. The chains do land. 957 uses his flash to get out. Already
Gimgoon's in.
Yeah, he's Meganar here as well as the flash comes in. Doesn't quite get it and nothing hits apart from the final house that he throws as he heads back towards the top lane, tail between his legs.
And if that's a sign of what's to come for Gimgoon, I am very concerned for this Energy Pacemaker side. It's almost like we said it was going to happen, and it did. Another teleport's going to be used to come back and farm in the middle lane as Geo surprisingly does have that spell.
Yeah, he's picked that one up. Sort of conceding the lane just a little bit, but will be very mobile around the map. And GA just loves taking teleport, man. He's always been taking that summoner spell, even before it was the thing.
He was the teleport Diana guy.
He was. That is the guy that he was. Rabbit 97 just going to hit a Rift Scuttler because he doesn't like it, and then head towards the mid lane.
He's been spotted by Rek'Sai.
GA doesn't have his flash, but dodges out of the way of the buckshot, and Rabbit's just going to get destroyed. Condi locks it down for first blood. Of course he does. The Rek'Sai man himself.
I mean, over-aggression right there from Rabbit. He didn't really have a mid laner to count on or depend on there in Republic, because Republic had no health, has no ignite, only has the flash and minimal mana available. And so they were just trying to push Kassadin out.
Well, Mystic not going to find the Mystic shot there. His namesake not going to be hit. His EP managed to find themselves a decent trade, but Jezza getting taken down very low, and Republic now in a bunch of trouble. Doesn't even have his Mimic. There's the knock-up. Just destroyed Condi. I mean, we knew that he was the Rek'Sai man, but he's definitely showing exactly why that was his priority pick.
But overstaying his welcome yet again was Republic. He's gone for the Negatron now, looking to sustain through any damage that they're going to do to each other in the middle lane. But it took him so long to get to that amount of gold that he basically paid for it with his life, and GA is free farming.
Yeah. When a Kassadin's free farming, you know everything's bad. It's almost as bad as watching a Ryze free farm. It's a horrible thing to have to deal with. It's like it's on the enemy team, you're like, oh god, no.
Such a weird comparison to draw, though.
No, it sort of makes sense though, right?
Sort of, yeah. They both scale. Yep. You're absolutely correct.
Or a Nasus. That'd be another one that I'd use.
That'd be closer to Ryze, though, than Kassadin.
Well, G8 is going to be able to pick up that blasting rod, head back towards the lane. Same item build path as Republic went last time around. We'll see whether he can get to an earlier Rod of Ages now, as Rabbit 97 has been discovered as he's trying to smack away this Gromp. He's going to secure it for himself as Condi. Some possible revenge available for the guy.
Yeah, and that was almost a 3-man in the top lane. Zero just doesn't care. He's a support.
Yeah, He's just eating pink wards.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep, Pillar of Filth goes down. Pillar of Ice, sorry. Goodness me. Wow, that's a lot of burst damage there from GA. Doesn't have a whole lot of mana back, but you can see the chain landed onto the Kassadin. He's still looking to try and get some hurt in as does use the ultimate, gets himself to safety, and Jezlo's just chilling here in the mid lane as well.
Yeah, so a lot of rotations around the map right now from both of these teams. Their supports are starting to feel a bit of freedom. So the AD carries are kind of just chilling, I guess, for lack of a better word. And they're in now in mid.
Yep, chain lands again. Republic's going to lock that one down, and some more overextension this time on the side of WE.
Yeah, if there's one thing Republic can do, it is hit every single chain that we've seen from him so far.
Yeah, he's doing well.
Putting in some work for his team. And again, that had to be a Jezlo's roam. Actually securing the kill, getting the pulverized headbutt combo, and using both summoner spells to ensure that one. Turns it around a little bit more for the middle lane.
Well, 957 struggling here as well, as he still has that mastery. Even now on Lissandra. Doesn't want extra damage. Just wants his health back.
Does Lissandra have it?
Yep.
I was going to say, I understand and appreciate it on Gimgoon, on the Gnar.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, well, there's the Gnar into the wall now as well. The ultimate goes down, but 957, Condi, he's just always here at the right place at the right time, apart from in the mid lane before when GA died, but manages to pick it up there on the top side of the map. 957 grabs that kill. Now, Romantic in a bit of trouble. Zero does put down the pillar.
That was just absolutely schooled in the top lane. There was no reason for Gimgoon to be that aggressive without trying to 1v1 and kill your lane opponent. But when you don't have vision anywhere in the general area that you are, you don't go that close to the opposition turret.
I feel like we learnt this pretty early on in League of Legends. But Gimgoon has made his way back towards that top lane, does have the teleport in order to get there, so not going to miss out on too much farm. He's only behind about 13 CS or so. But 957, he's just more than happy to scale into this game. Going for that Rod of Ages, double Rod of Ages now for WE. Rod of Ages, one of the sort of strongest AP items at the moment.
There may not even be a Rod of Ages in the middle lane. It looks like it should be.
Wow, Abyssal Scepter.
Like, I think it should be. But if he goes for the Abyssal Scepter, he may have to go for Sheen in his next item just to secure a mana pool.
Yeah, that's very interesting. GA probably relying on Condi giving him every blue buff on both sides of the map.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Well, Republic taking a bunch of damage from it. This passive has been put down. Magic not in too much danger of death at this stage. But blue buff now going to be delivered to GA after he clears out this minion wave. And 3-0-0 now for Condi. So Rek'Sai has the team on his back at this stage, not deciding to go for a warrior enchantment. Instead, the Cinderhulk is going to be there, so he's going to be that huge tanky Rek'Sai when we get to these mid-game fights. We'll see whether EPA can continue their fantastic team fighting of last game, or whether with this extra lead that WE have, whether Condi can carry things forward.
This could be interesting right now. They know exactly where World Elite are, but they haven't seen the two members from EPA.
Yeah, Rabbit, he's just chilling out now as just gets behind,
Whoa.
but GA is going to get destroyed. Rabbit actually picks that one up as Condi's now going to find him. In goes 957, and he's not going to last very long now as Condi nails down that kill. Now 4 out of the 5. Zero did end up taking out Republic, and EPA just going to slink away from this one. Condi now as well, looking for more blood.
I mean, Rabbit he almost thought he was invisible.
Yeah, I think he was invisible. I'm not entirely sure. Romantic, what are you doing, buddy? Okay. There was a pillar over the side. Zero's still looking for more. Not going to have that pillar up for
Watch the Ezreal ultimate.
quite some time. There's a True Shot Barrage, but it's only going to do a bit of damage to the Krug. As Romantic makes his way back out. No flash now on this Callista.
Energy Pacemaker are trying their absolute hardest from the very beginning of this game to make it hard for themselves to win. They're struggling. They've got the Abyssal Scepters complete on both mid laners now. LeBlanc's not really doing anything though, and Condi is a higher level than these middle laners.
Condi's just he's a beast. Complete monster. Okay, now, watch Rabbit 97. This is how you hide in a brush.
So this was all a bait from Republic. Rabbit was just genuinely an invisible kill stealer. 957 does come in and clean him up, to be fair. Very good ultimate timed with the flash to lock him down and secure that, but I mean, they got the Kassadin to start the whole fight off, and Rabbit mispositioned in a way that he was looking to just steal the kill with his ultimate. It almost felt like he didn't want to help with anything but the ultimate, and paid for it.
You can see Gimgoon now struggling a little bit against 957. You can see Condi, no vision available for Gimgoon this time. A bit more wise.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, he's on single-digit health right now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's not okay.
Putting it in the cons column.
Yeah, it's not good, Colin.
Yep.
Needs improvement.
It certainly does. And now he's going for a Catalyst. So Abyssal Scepter looks like then towards the Rod of Ages. And I got questions.
So we were looking at Condi, ready for a flank here. GA should be the one in a point of power, yet he's the one who leaves with no health. Oh, of course, Republic does go down. What was I looking at? How did I miss that?
That was how it happened.
Yeah. So, I mean, Condi, again, he's basically putting the entire... Look, they have 6 kills. He has 5 of them and 0 assists. So this guy means business. He's taking all of the gold. The problem there is he may be taking it all, but it's also going towards a tank. So the later the game goes, the more the tank will taper off and do less damage. The carries can then kill you, and you have to rely on your team. So I don't mind the Sightstone, because it unlocks the rest of your team to have vision, have control.
Yep.
Work around the rest of the map. But if nothing comes from that, and it just sits on 5 kills for a wreck site, they could be in danger.
That being said, Swifty Boots now completed, does have the Giant's Belt, but meanwhile in the mid lane, Republic losing that trade very considerably to GA. Romantic now going aggressive on the bottom side. Rand is going to get a bit of hurt on Mystic, but he's not too worried about it.
Yeah. Oh my god,
Still
Republic,
more
what are you
aggression. Condi looking to try and find it. Preyseeker does get there. Doesn't have the flash, but wants to find the tunnel. GA's just a lot more mobile. And finally, Condi gives over a kill.
That's exactly what you did not want to happen if you were Energy Pacemaker all, because now there is money going on to GA, who has indefinitely delayed his Rod of Ages and his snowballing personally.
Yeah.
So until further notice, he's not in a position to scale, but his laning phase is great because he's got resistances appropriate to his opponent.
Yeah, and to Alistair. Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, both mid laners right now just have a pocket team.
Exactly.
There's different varying points in this game. They have come mid to kind of help them out. The difference is one of them is now 5-0 and can basically solo the other laner.
Well, Zero looking to try and get something down. That pillow is fantastic to stop the engage from Jezza and Romantic as they move towards the bottom side again. And it's a very different game this time around. Oh, very aggressive move as the Claw of Doom even comes through for 957 to get a bit of extra damage through. The teleport's coming in. The ultimate on himself now to just to buy time. GA comes in. Republic just takes so much damage. And there's the flash. No, here comes Condi. And Gimgoon is so dead. Nice distortion to get away from the True Shot barrage. Don't know how Gimgoon survived for that extra second in order to kill 957. He is going to be able to get the revenge. GA, though, has pressured down enough. That being said, first turret is going to fall here for EP. Bottom side is going to be where it pays. And what I was talking about before is it's a very different game based on the fact that they're now trying to skirmish and not pick up these turrets very quickly.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that comes down to the team comp. And so we're going to watch this top lane fight again. Gimgoon is overconfident. He's got Grasp of the Undying and a range, I'm not going to say advantage. 957 times the ultimate very well to let the rest of the team come in. Republic misses the W, the distort for damage, onto 957. The ultimate's there from Gimgoon, but he uses his flash to get into that position. And honestly, he had no right getting that kill because Condi was like, oh, hang on, you don't... Oh,
yeah,
oh,
Condi's like, no, 957, you've got that one, right, mate?
Yeah.
He just doesn't want to steal him. He doesn't want to steal him.
Well, that's exactly right.
Yeah,
that's
he's getting in trouble from his team now, man. You just keep KSing me, Condi. Well, there's the knock-up, and EP looking to try and pick this one up 3v2, but Mystic... Yeah, you cannot skip that far as he's just going to flash over this wall. Gimgoon looking to try and pick this one up, but the safety of the turret is going to be there. Rift Herald going to fall. It's consolation here for WE. See if they can use that to great effect. But Mystic not having the best game of his life right now.
Yeah, I mean, Mystic not having the best game doesn't really matter, to be perfectly honest with you. He's only 0-1-1. All he's looking to do is farm and scale. He'll probably look for 2 or 3 items when he hits his point of power.
Yep.
So not too big of a concern, as does the middle lane, to be fair. They're waiting for a lot of scaling with items, and the best part is bridging the gap as Rek'Sai has never been so easy.
Well, Zero's going to get chained and destroyed. Republic picks up that kill. Condi now very, very tanky, but 957, a different story on that front. The
They want the
Rek'Sai,
turret.
it's just been a meat shield.
They tried so hard to get that turret, and they didn't get what they came for.
Yep.
So, I mean, unfortunate for this EPA side. It's actually really good to see them being proactive in their decision-making, even though they're at a deficit, because they know every single time that Rek'Sai is not there, they're actually quite fine.
Yeah.
It's just that if he's there, they're in trouble. So, one thing to note, Rod of Ages are completed for both laners at the moment, top and mid, for World Elite. So they're starting to come online and scale with their strength. And that's where it gets scary for Energy Pacemaker.
Yeah, WE was GA picking up his Rod of Ages at about 16 minutes into the game, so not entirely bad, especially not after a full Abyssal Scepter was completed.
Yeah.
So he's looking at about 26 minutes for that one to be fully online. Deadman's Plate now completed for Condi as well, so a bit of a damage boost, but more importantly, a whole lot of extra health.
This is a dangerous game to play if you're EPA.
Oh, Jezza.
About to
in
find
trouble.
out why.
Gia actually doesn't want to put too much damage onto the Alistair, as Romantic's going to be the aim here, and 4 members of WE now underneath this outer turret in the bottom lane. Zero just happy to tank this one up as Condi, like I said, meat shield.
Look, all things considered, they only got the 1 kill. I'm surprised Giezo got out with his life. 957's here now to even play a bit of a pest and flank. But honestly, EPA are just trying to trade. An aggressive decision from World Elite. They're going to need to start sieging and snowballing their lead further.
Yeah, and it looks like the turret answered in the top lane as well. Gimgoon's going to pick that one up. The inner turret, if that one falls, it's going to mean that WE have found an advantage here, but EPA doing the very best they can to try and keep it as even as possible.
It's consolidation at the moment from EPA. World Elite are in the driver's seat 100%. It's on the back of Condi on this Rek'Sai. An unstoppable force, to say the least. LeBlanc's going to get the hell out of there.
Yeah. Dodge has been vacated by Republic. Gimgoon going to eat himself a helicopter as he makes his way back home, and 957 picks up a huge minion wave here on the top side. You can see GA just cleaning up. So as the game settles down, now 4 turrets to 2 in favor of WE. Managed to balloon that one out just a little bit, out of turret in the mid lane. Very
Always
important
check the
to be
bushes,
taken.
kids.
Yes.
Don't pull a rabbit.
I still don't understand that.
This
I don't know
hurts
how he
my
had-
soul.
Yeah.
Come on, get.
Get. Ah!
You suck.
Not this time. Not this time.
It's alright. I would run from Condi too if I were him.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which, Deadman's Plate was the item of choice for Condi, and I really like it because it's a tanky item that also provides utility and a bit of extra damage. And the route that he's essentially going for his team is to be a tank, to bridge the snowball, and to let them become the powerhouses where he just sits in the front and doesn't die. This is the best item choice for doing that.
Yeah, not to mention more CC at the same time. Very much like it. But Republic, he's just going to do his best to clear out this mid lane minion wave, and they've really got to try and take some more turrets here to EPA, because WE. Just a little bit more gold available to them at this stage. Now Mystic, he's coming online. The Manamune completed, as well as those Boots of Lucidity and the Iceborne Gauntlet. Very close to full cooldown reduction. 30% from items at this stage, so if he has any in his runes, he's throwing out those Mystic shots as quickly as possible.
I mean, I understand how World Elite is so far ahead. They're probably going to try and pick a fight here and catch EPA
teleport.
out.
Coming in from 957. He's going to get behind them. Condi finds Rabbit 97 here as well, as he's going to get knocked up. Mystic now in a decent position on the side of the fight. Rabbit flashes his way out, but GA is going to pick up the kill, and now EPA getting corralled around this map. True Shot Barrage doesn't find too much, but it's just a whitewash now as Romantic.
No, not yet.
Struggling to get too much done. Yeah, Gimgoon trying to do some work, but WE just positioning their carries at the right places. Romantic still dancing as Zero's coming in, and Mystic cleans up the fight. Blade of the Ruin King and everything. Mystic triple kill now, and this Ezreal's online.
It took a very long time for them to actually get the pick in the end game fight that they were looking for. Rabbit, so far out of position, should have acknowledged that there was going to be GA on that side of the wall. Zero is far less of a threat on support Trundle than that of a Kassadin. They do well to pick up the Kassadin, and now Gimgoon's waiting for that Mega Gnar. Well timed from Jezor, by the way, with that Alistar from Kalista ultimate. But again, Gimgoon, he may get in there,
Oh no.
but he just doesn't get what his team needs of him. Whereas if you consider what 957 is doing, he's putting in work.
Certainly is. locking down the carries when he needs to, and Mystic on cleanup duty.
Yeah, I mean, Mystic's hitting his skill shots, whereas Romantic is just having to sit back and do damage where he can. And that's the biggest difference, is because the front lines of World Elite are ever present, to say the least, whereas it's hit and miss with Energy Pacemaker or Gimgoon. I said this at the start, it's going to be very difficult for him to hit his ultimates. It wasn't that great in that last fight either. It probably could have turned the whole thing around if he hit it.
The point is, though, is that they were fighting in this tiny choke point. If there's any time that a Gnarl's going to really do a whole bunch of work, it was exactly then.
With a flash.
Yeah. A little bit sad, but he's going to be dragging number 1 taken for WE. EPA, of course, taking the first one earlier on this game. And Mystic even going to grab himself a red buff. So WE really utilizing the advantage of that last team fight. Moving on in, Muramana has been completed as well here for Mystic, as he has the Last Whisper, as well as a Hex Drinker. So Public going to have a little bit more of a rough time bursting down this Ezreal, who's now 4-1-3.
Yeah, it's a very smart decision, actually, from Mystic to go for that Hex Drinker. Near impossible, honestly, to get bursted out. A lot of AD carries are going for Steric's Gauge as their tank option against burst, but Hex Drinker's like the mid-game cost-efficient version of a Steric's Gauge, because it takes the effective burst away from a LeBlanc and lets you kite, which is the entirety of what that Ezreal build is designed to do.
Well, he's definitely doing it well this stage of the game. Quiet early game. Getting bullied just a little bit by Romantic, but now GA, he's gone to split push mode here on the top side.
I just have so many questions for Gimgoon. His item build and his champion choice. He should have sacked a little bit more magic resistance instead of going for the pseudo damage choice. It doesn't really do damage.
Yeah, well, Spooky Ghosts are out. Slowed down are some of the members of WE. They're not too phased by it, as Condi just trying to stand forward, help his carries focus down this inner turret. Rabbit97 going to dodge away from the pillar as Zero uses the ultimate very early on here. Subjugate going to be down, but not going to be utilized.
Yeah, I mean, more of a zoning, honestly, ultimate from Tunnel, which is weird to say, but it forced the flash out of Rabbit. Yeah. Somewhat similar to that. Of course, they do get the turret. The Baron buff is so overbearing. Well, World Elite have this to really stop them from sieging. The advantages that they have basically skyrocketed the game out of control almost as Energy Pacemaker side. They've consolidated well. If it's worth anything, Energy Pacemaker all have consolidated and tried to find power and pick fights with conviction. And that's impressive to see in a new side.
It's true.
It's very impressive because a lot of teams just lose in slow motion and don't know what to do with themselves. But really, they are starting to lose control of this entire map.
You can see a little bit more of the experience for WE coming out, though, due to the fact that, you know, we have had sort of whitewash team fights in the last game. But EPA at this point, 8,000 gold behind after one. Wasn't very similar in the last game, and Condi now is just a movable object.
Yeah, he definitely is, and the Trundle's just disrupting them and putting them out of position, so Gimgoon's trying his absolute best to poke people out, get them off their objectives, because that turret is his and you shall not pass that turret.
Yeah, well, another Subjugate came out, and I think the point is that Zero's trying to make is that that's on a pretty low cooldown.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll just throw it at you whenever he feels like it.
I don't often see it used for zoning, but if they're running away when you use it, then by all means, continue with that trend.
Yeah. Well, Pillar goes down, and there's going to be the siege completed for WE. Last remaining inner turret falls down. Only inhibitor turrets to go, and it looks like Baron buff wearing off here for WE. So, gonna head back, pick up some items, see what more they can do. Of course, GA very close to the Zhonya's Hourglass.
And you have to say, though,
gold.
25 minutes into this game, to have a gold lead this big already.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like they're winning in slow motion. Like, it does feel like it's a slow game where Energy Pacemaker just recognized they're behind. Like, hey, we probably should try and stop this from happening. And that's where the winning team fights seem to be from World Elite. I mean, it's impressive, to say the least, that, as you mentioned earlier, World Elite seem more experienced. They're executing with a higher degree of success.
Yeah, and taking more from their advantages as well, as Rabbit97 looking to try and take away this red
Look at this
buff.
aggression, though. Like, they're so far behind.
Oh, the teleport coming in for 957, or GA, or both, as Rabbit97 is going to get smited down. Zero looking to try and pick up the Graves in the Dragon Pit. They're tunneling under that one. EP moving around the backside. as now Zero's been singled out. He might actually fall for this one as Condi's waiting for that tunnel to come back up. Romantic not going to get knocked up just yet as he's trying to dance this one around, but 957 makes his way in, and it's EP that are trying to turn this one. Mystic looking to get some work done. And that's a 2 for 2 in the end.
Not
2 for 3.
Yeah,
2 for 2.
Not bad at all. All things considered. I mean, they're putting them in a position where vision is sparing from World Elite, and they're still going.
Yeah, Mystic in a bunch of trouble now as well, as EP may have found the AD carry on his own.
Careful,
957
Jezor.
makes his way back in. Condi's still alive as well, as Jezor not going to get enough accomplished before he's dead. And Republic, going to be the last man standing. Romantic, of course, just getting destroyed. Preyseeker doesn't find him there as Condi, he's on the hunt.
Condi's Ezreal ultimate.
There it is. True shot barrage is going to do it.
Look, they overstayed their welcome. They did find a very convincing fight somehow.
No, it was nice.
Like a fight that shouldn't have been that close, and it well and truly was. And this is because, as I was going to say, they're forcing them to areas where there is no vision, and decision-making is just key. And like, if those chains connected, to be fair, that was probably lights out for Mystic. He now gets to kite back, and Jezor just decides that he's going to commit to putting down a combo. And again, Republic goes back in, baits Romantic into going down, and then works his way around the map and tries his best to kite. But Mystic has an alternate.
He does.
Because they really want to show us this.
There it is. And he's dead.
He died and went back to the W at the same time. It's adorable.
Yeah, pooped out some spooky ghosts at the same time. I'd be scared of a true shot barrage, though, to be frank. One thing that's been trolling me all game is the fact that Subjugate looks like a Blade of the Ruined King.
Oh, yeah.
So I just assume that Mystic's been using Blade of the Ruined King all over the place. But
No, and so while you're touching on Mystic, he's actually gone for the completed Maw.
Yeah.
And the best thing about the completed Maw is if you get below a certain amount of health, you now get lifesteal.
That's a very good
Which
point.
is great.
Very similar to what Ginsu's Rageblade used to do back when it was good. By good, I mean awful.
Good
WE,
joke,
they do manage to take down the dragon here. Number 2 for the side. Only 3 dragons falling this game means that that's not going to be much of a condition for victory. As Baron is the other option, and they need to break the base to WE.
They do.
And that will help.
It should be quite simple for them. It just should be A, B, C for them to take this Baron, get control of the area with vision, probably honestly just bait EPA into an awkward spot and then pick them. They've got the Trundle Pillar to place down. It should be simple. Of course, we've seen a lot of unusual and unpredictable play from this EPA side, and there is still a real chance that they can keep themselves in this game at least for a little bit longer. But if you want to look at the gold lead, that says otherwise.
Yeah, it's ballooned out 11,000 now, the lead for WE. And they're just in autopilot mode at this stage. Oh, Baron, that's the next option here. We know that we're stronger. We'll move towards that objective. Grab it now down to about half health. This could be the point where EPA turns things around. Teleport does come in exactly right as Condi looking to try and get himself into that front line. Gimgoon in a great position for this one. Nas everyone back there, all stacked on top of each other. EPA with a huge team fight as Condi and Mystic, last men standing. Republic, that's your clone.
It's a fake.
That's absolutely fine. And EPA find a ridiculous team fight out of nothing.
And again, Energy Pacemaker all just make decisions that you do not expect them to execute on. And they do it above and beyond expectations. These team fights, Jezor and the rest of the team, even Gimgoon, are looking to kite back and get rid of Condi. 957 has to die first because he's the Lysandra, and Mystic just sits back and tries to put down damage. But he's also the only person that sits in the back line. The funny thing is, while Lenar shouldn't be hitting the ultimate, the design of the entire team comp from World Elite is in their face. And so if Nar works as a peeling champion, and lets the Callista do work, then he'll actually hit the ultimates and they will kill people, which is exactly what we just saw.
It's like a really long cooldown headbutt that hits a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, if you want.
Yeah. It's bad at the analogies today. Enjoying it. WE, though, have found themselves back on the Rift, shaking things off, and we'll see whether they are going to go for the Baron once again. But that is a huge step forward here for EPA, and if they can win team fights like that more often, things could look a lot better for them, but they didn't kill Condi. He's still just a massive beast.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to say it's a gold swing, but they've closed the deficit by a decent margin. It was about 3k how much they've closed it.
Yeah.
And if they're winning team fights, it's almost Xiaogu-esque.
Yeah.
Being able to win team fights with a deficit this large. and they were reasonably controlled when they were ahead. I'm going to say, coming from the LSPL, these guys do have an inkling of Xiaogu in them.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, they've been playing together for a long time. Zero's just all up amongst it. Jejo does have to be a little bit careful. Yeah, Condi's going to find Romantic, and he's going to get destroyed. That's a lot of the damage now dead for EPA. They're ignoring Gimgoon completely. True shot barrage across like 15 people that time. And Gimgoon going to be the last man standing. WE say, all right, you managed to win a team fight before, but we have got you this time. And that is going to be the ace and potentially even the game.
So playing around vision that they have was the biggest advantage. This time, for World Elite, they catch the Callista completely out of position, who had no right being there. He was the crux of them winning any team fight at all. And you're right, Mystic somehow hitting his ultimate across 15 people, even though 5 are non-existent, and put in some
his
work.
whole team as well. So, I mean, maybe 10. But, yeah, probably not 15. But still, it was a very, very strong True Shot barrage, and WE pulled it together for that last fight.
They definitely did. World Elite, that's a better showing from them in game number 2.
Yes.
It's what we expected from them, let's be honest.
Yeah, well, exactly. This is the team that's had all the experience, and our first 1-1 so far in the LPL. So we are going to be going to a Game 3, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see whether the momentum is going to be in the favor of WE like it should be after that victory, or whether EPA can go back to the drawing board, figure something out, and show us exactly how they managed to win these team fights they have no right in winning, and whether they can form them a little bit better this time.
Yeah, absolutely right. There's a lot of questions that you can raise about EPA, but one thing's for certain. They do know how to win a team fight.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it. And that's one thing that they showed us in that game